Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to taking a look at a number of Bandai's different master grade Zaku 2 premium Bandai Ace Pilot Log model kits, different variations of the master grade Zaku 2 version 2.0. In the last video, we took a look at the Uma Lightning's custom Zaku 2. And in today's video, we've got Gabby Hazard's custom high mobility Zaku 2, I should say. They're both the high mobility type, but really cool. Love the black and brown color scheme on this one, but again, it's going to be mostly a color swap. But again, if you love these different Zaku variants, this is a really cool one. I really like this design a lot, so let's go ahead and check it out. But alright, so as for the box art here, like I was saying in the review of the Uma Lightning's version, that box art was a little bit boring in comparison to the later releases where we have this really cool dynamic artwork here, kind of like what you would see on this if it were a standard release, except for it's just all monochrome and it's in a monochrome color matching the color of the suit, in this case brown, to go with the brown and black color scheme of this version of the Zaku 2. But really cool imagery here of the built and painted kit, and decaled kit, I should say, and you can see a couple of other suits there in the background, another Zaku and another Gelgoog over there. The release date for this one was actually in 2015, so it's now been 10 years ago. And as we go around here onto the sides of the box, you can see this side's quite faded there. The color is faded on that side of the box. But going around, you can just kind of see how that looks. With this being a premium Bandai release, there's not too much to see here on the outside. So let's go ahead and open it up and check out our contents inside. Now we should have our water slide decals in here as well, as I was expecting these to be right on top. But you can see not quite as big a decal sheet like we saw with the Uma Lightning's custom version, but still some really nice decals on there. So you have some of these lining bits there in yellow, some nice caution markings in white, black, and yellow, and nice Zeon logo, some number markings. You have some decals here in red as well, so some really nice decals for this one. And then for the instruction manual, this is actually what I was expecting to see with the Uma Lightning's version, and strangely it was not, but for this one it is just the case where we have just our instruction manual from the original high mobility type Zaku 2, which was release anyway, which was the Johnny Ridden's version. So our instructions actually for the Johnny Ridden's Zaku 2. But then we have just this extra sheet here, which fortunately is at least in color, but this has like a parts list amendment here for like on the parts list, some of these sections you're not going to use. So the red sections, like here you have 2 of runner A, but you're going to use some parts from this runner A and some parts from that runner A, just depending on the color you need. So make sure to pay attention to that. And then speaking of the color, here on the back side, we've got the decal guide and the color guides. The colors are down there at the bottom. And like I said, really like the color scheme for this one. Super cool, that brown and black, but there's where all the decals are gonna go. And then yeah, there's just some amendments to the instructions just to pay attention to. It looks like that's it, nothing on the inside. So just for right here, just some small differences to pay attention to there. But as for the main instruction booklet here, like I said, this is for the Johnny Ridden's version, which you could repaint this kit into a Johnny Ridden Zaku 2, I suppose. I'm not really sure why you would do that, but since I've not reviewed this kit, we'll take a quick look through the manual here. This has some really cool like Zaku history and lineage there. Everything's going to be in Japanese, of course, and we've got the parts list and mostly the construction. But if we go to the center page here, some really cool stuff. Again, it's all about the Johnny Ridden's Zaku 2, but still cool to see that in there. Yeah, I don't have that one. I've not built it. I've never really been a huge fan of this color scheme, but I mean, I don't know. It does look pretty cool. I may try to get my hands on one at some point. Decal guide for that kit is here at the back, but again, we don't have those, so you don't really need to worry about that. And now in here, we do also have some foil stickers, just a couple of them there, basically for the mono eye and then one in for the backpack, something that we didn't see with Uma Lightning's version. But then of course, we do also have the springs in here for the piping on the legs. And to get into our runners, here in gray, we've got Polycap 200 runner there, all in gray. And then for the A runner, we've got 2 of these that are kind of different parts and different colors. So this first A runner is in brown, black, and a couple of clear parts over there. The second one is just only in brown and black, but as you can see, it's like opposite colors there. Runner B, we only have 1 of, and this is just all gonna be in black there. Runner C, we have 2 of, 1 in black, 1 in brown, but again, they're like different sections. So the black one has some additional parts down here. The brown runner has some additional parts over here. And then runner D here we have all in black. So although the color scheme, like the layout is a little bit different, it does seem that from Uma Lightning's version to this one, Bandai got a little bit better about just using like the different segments of different runners rather than just giving doubles of everything. And then here we've got runner E as well, which is also in brown and black there on the same runner. Runners F, G, and H are once again gonna be all in gray and all in ABS plastic for the main runners of the frame for the 2.0 frame here for the Zaku 2. So there's all those. Runner I here, some parts for the high mobility type version, all in black. We've got 2 of those. Runner J is going to be our weapons parts here in a medium gray. We've got the Zaku Bazooka, Zaku Machine Gun, and Heat Hawk once again. Runner K is our pre-molded piping runner here with gray for the piping and then black for the parts on the outside. Runner L, some more parts in brown for the high mobility type legs. Runner M here in gray for the frame parts for the backpack and legs for the high mobility type version. Runner N, a few more parts there in brown for the legs. And then lastly, Runner O here in gray is going to be the parts for the large bazooka that this version has there as well. So really cool to see that. And that's it for the runners. Let's go ahead and check out the kit. All right, guys, here is the kit all built up. Gotta love the color scheme on this one. That black and brown is just such a unique color scheme to have on any mobile suit. It's just such an unusual color scheme that we just don't see kind of ever. So you gotta love that, and it looks great here on the Zaku 2. This being the 06R2 variant means that it has the additional parts there on the high mobility part of the lower legs. So we've got like kind of even more bulk with this version of the high mobility type Zaku 2 design. It's also got a little bit different parts there for like on the elbows, but overall going to be pretty similar to just the standard high mobility type Zaku 2. But all the great features aside, again, the main draw for this one is just going to be the colors and of course those awesome water slide decals. But let's go ahead and take a closer look here at our accessories. And as for our accessories for this one, they're going to be mostly the same as the standard Zaku 2 kit. We have our 1/100 scale pilot figure here, just kind of generic Zeon pilot standing figure there in black, and our action base adapter here that will connect up underneath the waist section. We've also got the Zaku Heat Hawk with this connection piece that will allow this to be connected into the side skirt. The Heat Hawk's just all one single molded piece there in a medium gray color. You can see it does have the tabs on both the left and the right side, and that would be for plugging into the tab there in the hand. And again, just on the note of the hands, the thumb is just a single piece on a ball joint. The first finger is on a ball joint, and the second, third, and fourth fingers are connected, but those can be sliced apart if you wanted them to be individually articulated. Then each of the fingers has a bend at the middle of the finger there as well. So some pretty nice articulated hands. Also, they have a joint here in the wrist as well, also worth pointing out there for you guys. Anyway, here then also molded entirely in gray is our standard Zaku machine gun. The front handle will move side to side there. The camera will also move. One thing that I do kind of wish that we had in some of these Master Grade 2.0 Zaku kits is extra ammunition to store like on the back skirt or something like that. Something that the HG The Origin kits, a lot of them did have, but unfortunately not the Master Grades. But you can see here on the handle, both on the left and the right side, once again we have that same tab hole there for plugging into the hand for a nice good grip on that. And then the standard Zaku Bazooka here, the front handle will move up and down. The camera will also move up and down. The main handle will not move at all. Here on the side, you can see we've got 2 holes for the hand to tab into the handle here. One for just a straight grip, one is at an angle to be able to hold the bazooka kind of up at an angle up over the shoulder. And then for the camera, you have this little flap here that can be closed as you see it there at the moment. This can also be folded open, and we do have clear parts for the bazooka here, that larger one. The smaller one is for the camera lens in the Zaku machine gun there, so that'll fit into there. But again, I just haven't put that in there yet, but you do have those clear parts you can use for those. And then with this one here, we've also got the giant bazooka. Now the giant bazooka is, as the name would imply, larger than the standard Zaku bazooka. It's bigger here, but it kind of works exactly in the same way. This front handle does move. The camera will move up and down there as well. The sort of lens cap here on the camera can also be open, and you do have a clear part in there for that. And then once again, unfortunately, the main handle does not move up and down, but you have 2 grip points there on the handle to be able to hold this up over the shoulder. Because with this being pretty hefty here at the back end, you're gonna need to get that up over the shoulder there so that you can get a good grip on it. It's a pretty large weapon, and this part up here at the front too can also be moved up and down like that. And like with the rest of the kit, it's designed really nicely in that it doesn't have any seam lines, but you are going to have some pretty nasty mold lines on here. You're going to want to sand, and also some of the gates on here are also pretty nasty. And that's it for the accessories, but with this kit, we do once again have a lot of leftover parts, not quite as many as we saw with the Uma Lightning's version. We just have a handful of leftover armor parts essentially, and with this kit being the 06R2 variation, like I said, we do have these additional large parts here around the high mobility parts on the lower leg, and these parts on the elbow are also going to be a little bit different. So just to compare for you guys, here is the P-Bandai Master Grade Uma Lightning's custom high mobility type Zaku 2 that we took a look at in the previous review. You can see the elbow parts different on there, and of course the legs there as well. Otherwise, I guess one other small difference is that this does come with the foil stickers there. We have a foil sticker for the mono eye, which I did go ahead and put on there, but you do have a clear lens part there for the mono eyes. There's a clear visor part and then a clear part for the actual mono eye itself. But once again, when you turn the head on this kit, it's geared so that the mono eye will turn along with the head, which is pretty awesome. The other sticker is going to be around here on the backpack. That red sticker right there, with especially the backpack being mostly in black here. That little bit of red definitely helps to break up the black a little bit. These fins down here will move. These thruster bells will move slightly. But yeah, overall, I mean, you guys know that I love these 2.0 Zaku kits, and the articulation and the engineering on these is just really, really nice. They don't have a ton of detail around here on the surface, but some nice articulation here, like the double joint in the elbow. Once again, because of these large parts for the high mobility parts on the legs, the knee joint is going to be a little bit limited. You do have a really nice double joint there in the knee, but that's about as far as you can bend that. But you have separation of the knee armor there. Some nice articulation in the feet here, as well as a toe bend up there like that, and then some nice detail even on the bottom of the feet. So once again, overall fantastic kits, and again, you don't really have anything in the way of seam lines on these. So aside from having to do a bit of sanding for some mold lines here and there, pretty simple kits in order to paint as well. Probably the most challenging part of painting one of these kits is just these ring parts there for the power cables around on the legs, the waist section, and the head. But overall, another awesome addition to this line of Ace Pilot Log releases. Like I said before, I love this brown and black color scheme, super unique. I said, you know, without the proper lighting on it, the black, you know, what little details you do have there on the armor, they are kind of a bit lost there, and just the black with it being pure black. I think ultimately when I go to paint it, you know, I'm gonna opt for not having that so dark, like pure black, and then I'm just gonna go for like a dark gray. I think would be a better bet, just for it to be not quite that stark in contrast. But this will also really look really nice with those decals on there as well. So great to have those waterside decals included. Again, that's kind of one of the main reasons for picking up these P-Bandai Ace Pilot Log kits, because there's nothing that you get in with this kit that's actually different from just the standard release when it comes to the actual parts. So I mean, you could just get the regular release of the Johnny Ridden's high mobility type Zaku 2 kit and then just paint it into these color schemes and get like a third party or an aftermarket set of decals for this, and just be able to make it your own without having to actually fork out the money to buy this premium Bandai variation. But still nice to have a small collection of these, and wish that Bandai would make some more entries in the Ace Pilot Log. I would love to see some more of the Ace Pilot Log Gelgoog kits at some point using the Master Grade 2.0 Gelgoog. That would be awesome, but for now, just glad that I can finally get some of these Zaku kits built up and check them out and share them with you guys. So let me know what you think about the color scheme on this one. Are you guys fans of that black and brown color scheme, or is it not really working for you? What are some of your favorites when it comes to the Ace Pilot Log series, or just like the custom Zaku 2s from the 1 Year War? I feel like there's a lot of Johnny Ridden fans, when actually the Johnny Ridden's color scheme is not really particularly one of my favorites when it comes to like the different variations of color schemes that we have for this mobile suit. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And of course, if you want to check out some more awesome Gunpla of the non-P-Bandai variety, you can check out the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store, as we got plenty of Gunpla there on the website, as well as paints, tools, and supplies. So check out that link. And as always, guys, thanks so much for all of your support, making sure that you're subscribed to stay tuned for the next couple of kits in this series of reviews that I'm doing, and then also just making sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. Till next time, hope you all are having a great day. See y'all later. Bye, guys.